Welcome back. We're at the last level of ankle stability rehab, the highest level you can get. Now, if you stumbled upon this video and you haven't seen these first, I highly recommend you go watch those. First is if you just rolled your ankle and it's swollen, your first steps. Next is the early phase of ankle rehab. The one after that, right before this video, is that mid-phase rehab. If you haven't completed those, I wouldn't do this one. It'd probably be too much for your ankle to jump straight into. So once you've watched those, come back here and we'll get into it. Okay, let's get right into it. For this exercise, you need a weight. I have a med ball, but you can just hold a weight. This one's about 6 pounds. You'll need a Bosu ball. If you don't have that, you can use a foam pad or a pillow. What you're doing is you hold this weight close, you're jumping laterally, landing and stabilizing here, and then jumping again, landing and stabilizing here. You're going back and forth. So I'll show you what that looks like here. I'd want you to do about 10 to 15 jumps and also flip sides, so that way you're getting work to both ankles, regardless of which ankle you sprained, because that's working both of them. The next one is very similar. You're gonna jump and turn and land, and then try to jump back and turn and land. Now this is all with one foot, so you might need to be closer. So it'll look like this. You'll start facing this way. Now you can tell that was hard for me to stabilize. That's okay, that's what this phase is for. You're ready for this stuff. So jumping back and forth, you're gonna do about 10 reps, and I would do both ankles at this phase with everything. For the next one, you still need that weight or that med ball. This is 6 pounds. You're basically doing a Euro step. If you play basketball, you know what that means. We're gonna be jumping laterally and forward, but then we're also gonna be jumping backwards and laterally. Each time you're stabilizing on the ankle, but you can go at a little bit of a quicker pace here because we're trying to get to that high level stuff. Also, if you're on a floor that's slick with your socks, I would recommend just taking your socks off with this. You can't take your socks off like if you're at the gym and that's frowned upon. Just put your shoes on. Let me show you what it looks like. I would do about 3 sets of 10 jumps going forward and 3 sets of 10 jumps going backwards. Okay, with this one, I upped the weight on the weight that I'm holding. So this is a 10-pound med ball now, and you'll see why. You see I have these kettlebells lined up? That's because I don't have actual hurdles. If I had hurdles, I'd just use that. But this is an easy way if you're at the gym that has kettlebells to do it without hurdles. Also, you technically don't even need these here if you just want to visualize it and do this anyway without it, and I'll show you what I mean. So what we're going to be doing is lateral jumps. So let's say it's my left foot that I'm working on. I'm jumping single leg over the hurdles while holding this med ball, and I'd go all the way down to the end, and when I land on my last one, I drop the weight, and then I'm jumping back that same single leg all the way back. So this is obviously training proprioception because you're stabilizing and jumping high level stuff with weight in your hand, and then you're dropping the weight. So it's a sudden change in body weight and center of mass. So it forces your proprioception to do overtime again to get you stable as you go back. This is a great exercise, but it's a very high level one. So this is something that you need to be comfortable doing and having confidence in your ankle as you do it. For this one, I do 2 sets of down and back with each leg. All right, this is the last exercise for this high level phase. I have a kettlebell here, it's 20 pounds. If you have kettlebells, I would prefer you to use that. If you don't, you can use a regular weight. The kettlebell just adds a little bit of instability based on how we're gonna hold it, so it'll force your ankle to do more work. You're gonna press up with one arm, you're gonna jump and land in this lunge position with your arm straight overhead. I want the arm that's up to be the opposite of the leg that's forward. So I'm gonna go like this, and land, and then I'll come up. This, land, come up. It's obviously forcing a lot of stability in this stabilizing landing leg, but that back ankle is also doing a lot of work in that position like this when you land. You would do 10 to 15 reps on each side. Now that's a ton of stability that it demands throughout your entire body, shoulders, core, hips, and ankles, but it's a great last step to ensuring stability at that ankle. So that's the sequence of exercises. This stage's frequency is different than stage 1 and 2. This one is a lot more taxing and demanding on your joints, your nervous system. I would say 3 to 4 times a week for about 2 weeks. That is a really good sequence for this kind of high-level training. After that 2-week mark, you can take all 3 of these phases and pick and choose a few just to intermittently add into your lifting, exercising routine. And I promise you, this will definitely highly reduce the risk in rolling your ankle. Plus, I think your ankle is going to feel a lot better if they were having any pain from residual sprains in the past. You might have picked up that I mentioned a few times throughout all 3 of those videos that there's a lot of hip stability involved that's directly related to ankle stability. If you want to train your hip stability, watch this video here where I go in depth with that to get that taken care of.